So I need stuff done.
Yeah.
If we can get it done with the men that can do it in our life, if not, I'm going to push a button and find someone else to do it.
I'm noticing that the men are using the Bible as their tool to say that women are to be submissive to men and that they are the head of the household. Now,
Men want us to be patient with them, right? And their emotions are hard. They don't want to cry. But if you're not being patient with a woman who may come from a single mom who saw her just get it by any means. So if that's her mindset growing up and that's all she knows, why aren't you being patient with her so she can be submissive? Hello, and welcome to A Seat at the Queen's Table. Today, we will be discussing
submission and what that means to you as a woman and as a man.
So let's get started. What do you have on your mind?
So I noticed that lately trending on a lot of social media, there's been a lot of talk about submission, men and women, okay? There's a lot of different groups now, people, who are polygamist or, have open marriages and things of that nature. And a big talk right now is the submission of women in a relationship. So my takeaway from it is this, and then whenever you ladies want to chime in, I'm noticing that the men are using the Bible as their tool to say that women are to be submissive to men and that they are the head of the household. Now, as an independent woman who works every day, who is in a relationship, a committed relationship, long-term relationship, who, takes care of the house, takes care of the cooking, the cleaning, I view it more as a partnership. And I say that to say because people misquote the Bible sometimes for what they want to use it for. The Bible does just not say that you are supposed to submit to your husband or your husband is the head of the household. The scripture reads that a godly man is the head of the household, and a godly man is the one that you should submit to. That don't mean I'm submitting to a man that ain't coming home till 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, that don't have a job, that I get home, nothing's done, and he's sitting around flipping the TV channel, ain't even trying to find a job because I'm holding him down.
Right.
And you tell me, oh, when I get home, I don't have a submissive attitude towards you.
So what are your views on it? Are you saying that, because I hear you, because I'm right there 100%, and me being on the flip side, single, no kids, whatever, and I completely understand, because I always say if a man has to lead. You can't just say you want someone to submit if you're not leading us. You're going to lead us into a river.
Right.
Exactly. If you're not walking accordingly, and the Bible does say if a man don't work, then he don't eat.
Right.
Exactly.
And I always say that.
And when these men say that, they want to be the leader, we know what that means for a man to be a leader, but this time and day,
this day and age, what does that mean?
What do that mean of you're going to lead? You tell me, because I would love to fall back.
Right.
But the way I was brought up as a single mom first, and then a single dad, that my dad took care of me. And now it's like my father and my mother taught me how to be independent. And now when I'm married and I'm trying to undo that, it's so very hard because they taught me to be a leader. And now that, I'm grown, I've been by myself for many years. And now that I'm married, I'm trying to undo some things.
Right.
Because all I know is to be independent and being a leader. So how do I take that away if I've been doing that for so long? And I don't mean to be a leader. It's just that
it's in your blood. Yeah. And I always say to men sometimes too, because it's such a popular topic, and with me, like, just, dating in 2024, I always say, you know, men want us to be patient with them, right? And their emotions are hard. They don't want to cry. But if you're not being patient with a woman who may come from a single mom who saw her just get it by any means. So if that's her mindset growing up and that's all she knows, why aren't you being patient with her so she can be submissive?
Right.
You know, like it's
But if you
It's
look
weird.
at, if you, let's look at history, okay? Slaves were not allowed to be married. The only way that they could show their commitment to one another at one point was jumping over a broom. That was how they were considered to be married. They were not considered married.
Maybe
or
they're
were not
off time that they could do among themselves.
right, whatever, right. So and basically it. That was their own. No preacher would come and marry them. It was against the law.
right.
So they would have their own little private ceremonies in the middle of the night, and that was their way of somebody saying a few words and jumping a broom, and that meant that they were now one. They were cohesive. Okay, so let's take those times, because even in slavery times, Black men, once they married a woman, they became the head of the household as much as they could be, surrounding the circumstances of being in slavery. Then we go into the 20s, the 30s, the 40s. I have men that, you know, God rest their soul, they're dead now. I've never seen men like that in my entire life. My uncles, my grandfather, when I tell you they did every single thing for their wives didn't have to go out and work. They paid all the bills. They took care of it. That's the man. And I'm not saying they were all Christians, okay, but that's a leader. You know what I'm saying? That's a leader. But nowadays, I'm saying when the drug epidemic started happening in the 50s and the 60s with the heroin and all the drugs, men started leaving their wives, okay? And leaving their wives with 5 and 6 children. And the woman had to step up and be the man and be the woman. You was the mom, the dad, the preacher, the doctor, the lawyer,
But
the nurse.
even if there are two parents in the household, even if they are both working, because I do see it on a different side too. I take my brother, for example.
Okay.
And I look at him and his wife, how they do different things. They both discipline their kids. They're both working corporate jobs. They're both, do equal shares of the whole. In my eyes, what I see, okay? Because my brother will get up in the morning, cook, clean, whatever it may be, bathe the kids and stuff. Same with his wife. So my thing is, if it is the balance out of the relationship. When I sit back and I look at my brother as a man, and the man that I look up to, I was like, wow, he still get up in the morning, goes to the gym, go to work, still tend to the kids, still tend to the wife, and still make time to do laundry, food, and everything. Even though the wife would do the same thing. So it's like, I would want that for myself. To do all those things. But no, me, where I came from, and now that my dad had raised me, it's the other side now. My mother was raising me. Now my father took over and he started raising me. And all I know to be is this strong woman. And now that I'm married, now I have to undo it and say, let the man be the leader, which I don't have no problem. But it's hard for me to do. Right. All I know to be is a leader.
Okay,
I think.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I think too, it's easier when there is an environment for you to be soft. Like people are now is a term that is very popular. There's soft girl era, you know. But if you're not creating, as a man, if you're not creating that environment for us to be soft, then like what are we supposed to do? And a lot of men don't see that or understand that. You know, they may think we always have attitude, or we're always so upset or angry, but it's like, well, what if I was just having a really bad day? Why can't you just ask me how my day was? Right. Did you bring me coffee today? Did you bring me lunch? Like,
right. And see,
what's going on?
Right. And I agree exactly what you said, because, you know, as I said, when wives were stay-at-home moms and took care of the house and took care of the family, you know, we weren't dealing with the stresses of the world. Right. You know, we didn't have that weight on our shoulders of, like yourself, running 3 and 4 businesses at a time and, you know, run everywhere. We didn't have those stretches. those stresses, excuse me. That's what the men did. But now we're in the workforce. We have the same stress, if not more, than men. Because I don't care where you work, okay? There is a totem pole. White men, white women, black men, and black women are on the bottom of that totem pole every single day.
Yes.
So you got to deal with all that drama at work, knowing how to curb your tongue and not curse somebody out so you can keep your job because you got bills to pay. So you deal with all these pressures at work. Then you got to come home and, you know, you like Bria said, you're not coming home to somebody that's saying, oh, you know, how was your day?
Right.
And I can vent to you and say, oh my God, listen what happened today.
It's easy to
Yeah,
get
come
too,
on,
you know?
right.
Sometimes
That's
you just
easy
want
to
them to
vent
listen.
Yeah.
And I
Right.
realize that with men, a lot of them don't understand just to listen. They want to be problem solvers. So if you're complaining that, you know, you may have a stab that just really pissed you off, and they're interjecting, Alondra just fired. Now, why would you just say that? Like, why can't you just listen to me then? And then that's just it.
Or if you are, you know, the woman that works all these jobs, and the man do work some of the job or take care of the child
Right.
or whatever it be, and you did all this and you still clean up the house too, and it's like you still got a million things to do when you get home, and it's like, where's dinner?
Well, I'll
Yeah.
tell you,
Wait a minute, where's dinner? Lot just pissed me the fuck off. And I'm trying to get home to take off my shoes and stuff.
Right.
And guess what? I smell the damn
Just
dog.
get into some comfy clothes. That's all you want.
And you know, he home. Okay, let me back it up. Say husband is home. Lala just got on my fucking nerves and I want to fire her ass, okay? And I'm like, guess what Lala just did? She pissed me the fuck off. And I just told her just to go. Just go. And then, you know, you want me to make dinner?
Right.
You want me to do the laundry? I gotta discipline the child? And I gotta do homework? What are you doing? Twirling your fingers. You twirling your fingers. And you doing this to Facebook. What you think it's gonna do to me? Go the fuck off.
okay.
Go berserk.
Go the fuck off.
Right. And right. And then, okay, then take your scenario, now compare it to mine. When I try to vent and say, oh my God, first of all, I deal in commercial debt collection, okay? For anybody who's ever been a debt collector, which I've been doing off and on for some time now, I'm now in a position of commercial debt, which is way more stressful because I'm dealing with huge,
Oh yeah, I can imagine.
huge
Right. And then you gotta call
apartment
people too?
complexes and
Oh,
You gotta
yeah.
get that money. You gotta try to get that money.
They probably so upset with you.
I'm
Should I
not,
use this phone?
right,
Can I not get it
right.
now?
I'm not calling
What you want, Leslie?
Right. I'm not
Hey,
calling,
what?
Right. I'm not calling you because you owe $129 to the light bill. What I do is I'm calling a property management company that has 50 properties all over the United States. And you got a bill of $150,000, which becomes very stressful. And then just recently I was in a situation where I had a supervisor that literally I almost walked off my job. I told him, y'all got to do something with him or I'm out because I can't take it. I don't know what I'll do. I'll clean houses. I'll do whatever. But I'm not going to keep tolerating this. So with all that being said, mine, unlike yours, they all have their own different thing. This one, instead of him listening to me when I'm trying to explain things to him, even about what we're doing, about work, about anything, it's never, I don't get that sympathetic ear. Sometimes I don't want to hear, I told you so. I told you so.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
That's
And
safe
that's the
environment. So
vibe.
how are they
Right.
creating that for you?
And that's
Right.
why I don't tell you anything
Right.
because it's like you never have my back. It's all about, well, you don't listen to me. Every time I tell you something, you go and do what you want to do anyway. Because I'm grown. I'm
Right.
good and grown.
And when you ask them, what do you want to do? Okay, I'm going to be quiet. For my family, I'm always saying, I always have this step, like where we're going.
Right, you're being the doer.
Yeah.
You're like picking. You're
Where
the
are we
chooser.
going?
You're the
Yes.
literally
You know,
the leader.
Right.
Yeah.
Where are we going? What we're doing? Every 2 weeks, every month, every wherever. I have always been that
Yeah.
way. And excuse me again, my brother taught me that.
Right.
Is make sure you have a plan.
Mhm.
1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 5 year plan to see where you going, and now you can go back and reflect on what you're doing and what is not doing, what is going right for your life. So I have always been like that in my relationship too. So now that when me and my husband first started going, getting together, I would say those things. Now that he had put that ring on my finger, I would be like, okay, where are we going? What we going to do? What we going to do this? And we will always follow that lead. And I always will come back to that. Anything that we need to do. Okay, now when we pass that, okay, all right, what is our dream? What we want to do? He's not a dreamer, and
Right.
I am. Excuse me, I am a Pisces, so I dream a lot. And I don't know what made me want to be a business person. That's just my lifestyle that I like to put business together, something that's dear to me that I want to do. I'm never going to pick something that don't interest me. It has to really interest me and be my passion. Okay, so when I go to my husband and I say to my husband, okay, this is what I want to do. Okay. I said to him the other day, I'm like, when you just say no, it just takes me 10 steps back because you don't even put a consideration into what I'm saying, what I'm asking. You don't put thought in it. You don't say, let me think about it, let me get knowledge about it. You just shoot me down. No. And I just told him, it put me 10 steps back from you of shooting my ideas down because you don't take time out to think about what I'm doing for the family.
Yeah.
Just always know that before I come to you and make that decision, I always do the homework.
Right.
First.
You're not just bringing a plan of
Right.
nothing.
I always go do knowledge first. That's me all the way.
But too, what's creating it shouldn't even really have to be like that though,
Yes.
because that is your husband, safe environment. Why can't I just come to you and just ping ideas back and forth?
Right.
And then we build it together. Like, why does it always have to be in a bow? And
he thinks it's,
here's all the answers.
He thinks I'm saying to him to be a yes man, and that's not what I'm asking. Because when I don't come to you, you need to worry about that.
Right.
Because you always say, why don't I respect your opinion? Why don't I come to you? But when I do come to you, you shoot me down. And I don't like that.
Yeah.
And now that my dad is gone, and he's been gone for 6 months, he was my go-to person to tell me certain things and give me different advice. He never shoot me down. He'll just say, well, what about this? Or what about that?
Right.
Or whatever. Not just a no. Or he'll just say, go back and do some homework or whatever it may be. In that sense. But when you don't have no interest at all, and it's going to bring the family some money and stuff like that, that kills me.
Yeah.
That kills me more than anything. And I shut down. I shut down, and guess what I do? I still go figure it out.
Yeah.
Because it's still in my mind, it's still in my heart that I'm going to go figure it out. Just like the cleaning business. We done been in business for 3 years now. Wow. 3 years of cleaning. And not to make it like he's the bad guy, but he said no.
And we have all cleaned for our truck.
He said no.
Getting up in the morning.
Yeah.
But it's good money.
It is easy.
No, yeah.
And I
Easy.
love it.
Yeah.
Did I want to do it at first? No. I just ran into a situation that our own business was not getting cleaned right.
Right.
And we was in the corona and stuff like that, so I would go and do it. And I enjoy it. I have anxiety.
Yeah.
I have migraines. And that I was like, wow, that does something to me. But now every time something get added onto my plate, I'm just like, okay, now it's time for me to get some more help in this business. This business ain't going nowhere. I'm not turning it off because I love it, but I can turn it off.
Right.
If I don't want to do that house today, all the clients I have, I can renew it and say, may I do it this day? Or I can call one of my friends or one of the staff and say, would you like a job to do this? I have this and I have that. It pays this, it pays this. You want to do it? And most of my friends says yes. Or my clients would say, Shanika, I see you next week.
Yeah.
You know, I see you next week. I can turn that job on and off. That's why I chose it. Because it's not going to run me down. I pick jobs that I can turn on and off. That's why I do those jobs.
Yeah.
Okay? And boy, do it pay money. It takes
That's
money,
right.
you know. But
I think that's one of the intimidating things to men too. When you have a certain drive that they don't have, that becomes intimidating to them.
Because it's
And-
weird.
right,
'Cause,
and I-
yeah.
right, and
'Cause
give
it's like,
this-
you
right.
know, they're
So many
used to
people,
being the man, but they're not used to that
right.
inferior energy
Exactly.
as well.
But okay, like she said, a dreamer. Okay, I'm not a Pisces, I'm a Leo. So for me, it's not about dreaming about what if. It's
Mhm.
working with the skills that we have now. Okay.
Right.
He does respiratory therapy every day. Set up BiPAP, CPAPs, oxygen, all that. Knows it better than most respiratory therapists.
Mm-hmm.
Can cut hair. Cuts his own hair.
can he work with you?
What? What's wrong with my hands besides light?
Besides light.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. He has so many skills, and I keep trying to tell him, okay, and like I was saying, I was just saying this to her the other day. We had a conversation. It's not that he makes bad money because he's been at his job for 23 years. But I see so much more of a potential if you get that respiratory therapist certificate. You know what I'm saying? If you become an RT, you know the work.
Right.
It's just a matter of getting it on paper and giving somebody to give you a certificate or a degree in it.
Mhm.
You've been cutting hair since you were 14. Go get a barber's license. Do you know?
Well, before I'll play devil's advocate with this because, like I said, it's different when you're dating in 2024
Mhm.
and it's like D and like you, but I'm a Scorpio, so I'm not really like a dreamer. I'm more like a realist, and I'm like, well, this will create revenue for you.
Mhm.
I think what it is that because it's not their own idea, they don't take heed to it because they think of it as, well, you're like forcing me to do something that you want me to do. But we see it as, well, I just want you to be better. I want you to be better than what you currently are because I see so much potential in you.
Right.
But they don't see that in themselves.
Right.
So we have to be able to be okay with that. And it's hard because we're alpha females. We just want you to do it out of love.
Right, I'm motivated,
Yeah, I
so
want
you
to be a
you need to
motivator.
motivate
But that's
right. Right.
That's not in everybody.
Now, question for you: as a young woman, like you said, no children, no
Mhm.
permanent relationship. When you're dating, okay, and these crazy men start talking all that
hard.
crazy submission stuff, is that a red flag for you?
It's not a red flag because I can hold my own. Like I can literally say to someone, I don't mind submitting, but you have to know where you're leading us. And if you want a family, where are you leading our family? Like, y'all know my dad. He's very, very Brian. Very, always figured it out. I've never
Brian.
seen my dad in a bind that he has not got himself out of. And growing up with my grandparents too, my papa, like he would leave the house at 6 a.m., come back 5.
Your grandfather was a
Work,
hard
right, he was a
working
hard
man.
worker. That's all I saw. I don't mind, but I tell them I don't mind submitting. But where are you going to lead me?
Right. And,
Because if you're not going to lead me, then
and that's the thing.
This is
and
not a
we do
conversation.
have beautiful men. Like my husband is very smart.
yeah.
And I would once again, I just had a talk with my husband about stuff like this.
Mhm.
And I said to him, you're very smart. You're good with numbers. You're a painter. You this.
Mhm.
You're a good father. He gives me whatever. I want. but I also work hard. I
Right.
deserve it.
Yeah.
I deserve everything.
It's not like you a stay-at-home mom, like you a hard-working
I
businesswoman.
deserve a beautiful house. We all do.
Mhm.
But I work behind all. You don't have a lazy wife.
But
Yeah.
That's the thing.
But again, just what you just said. If you were a stay-at-home mom, we've all been in your house. That's a lot of house, okay?
a lot of house.
A lot of house.
Yes.
I complain about my apartment, so I know that's a lot of house, okay?
Yeah.
It drive me crazy
Same.
sometimes.
So if you didn't go to work a day in your life,
That's why we get ready to get
Okay.
that. That's why
Right.
we're about to get that mansion, right?
Right.
And we're going to have the maid come.
Yeah.
Housekeeping. Yeah.
Right.
Literally,
Housekeeping.
And
Exactly.
maybe because I don't want to
Yeah.
do no cooking no more either. You
Mhm.
can do all that and the cooking,
Right.
and I'll make the bacon.
But
Yeah.
that's my thing. Even
Yeah.
if you weren't
Gotta
out
make it easy for
here
you.
Yes.
running 3 businesses or 4 businesses and doing what you do,
Mhm.
okay? Just your house alone, being a housewife, people underestimate a housewife
Mhm.
because
Yeah.
I'm
Mhm.
telling you,
Especially in this generation and
when
raising
I
kids. Oh
got
my
to stay
gosh.
home for 3 years when my youngest child was a baby. That was the only one I ever really got to stay home
Mhm.
with. Thank God she had a great father. Okay, only one of my kids that I ever got to stay home with. When I tell you I was more exhausted at the
Yeah.
end of the day than if I had got up and gone to work. And I have told people this for years, and I'm not ashamed to say it. I really think that God put me here. I am much better. I am much better in the business world than I ever was as a mother, because that's where I should have just done that.
Yeah.
Because he, the father, my ex-husband, he was the mother. He did the going to the games and going to practice and dropping this. It wasn't my thing.
Right.
I do better at work. That's my mind is set on that. I'm not baking no cookies. I'm not baking no brownies. I'm not going on no field trip.
I love all
See,
that.
and I don't.
She said she don't.
Right.
I love it all. I love corporate
don't.
work. I love corporate work.
You
And I
like
love
the
being
balance.
a mommy. I love
Yeah.
the balance. I love to bring in the cookies. I love to bring the
See, I have no balance.
Miss Coleman is here.
Right.
Hi.
Right. No.
Ramon's mom. Hi.
No. See.
So
That's it.
I think what I'm hearing from you two, which is nice to have these conversations, that in order to submit and feel comfortable submitting,
Yes.
not only do you have to be a great leader outside of being a provider, but you also have to have our back.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like.
But you know what? I may say he do have my back. It's just something missing.
So
And
I only
don't-
said have your back
Yeah.
because you said sometimes when he says no,
Yes,
it takes you 10
yes,
steps
yes.
back. But if you have my back, regardless,
Yes.
if you feel like I'm telling you this grand old idea, but if you have my back, I'm going to draw closer to you because like you really
Yeah.
have my back.
Right.
And not everybody has your back nowadays.
Right.
And I can submit to you as long as you understand you have a strong woman and you not gonna pull no okey doke on me. I don't care how much.
Cause she from New
submission.
York.
Okay.
And she go,
Drink to
That's
that.
it.
Drink to that.
Right.
Right,
You
I
know,
will submit
yeah.
as long as you doing right by me and doing what I need you to do. I will submit all day. I run around my house cooking,
Because you know what?
cleaning.
Perfect example. After we had this talk,
Mhm.
me and him had this talk of the things that we, we should work on and stuff like that. He went back to the same old shit. Okay, let me tell you. So, all right, we on good terms now. We set our differences and stuff like that. One of the business need to be painted. My husband can paint his behind off. He can. Oh my God, he's really good at painting. Okay. And I said, well, I need 2 rooms painted at the business. And one was, an office and then a room. Okay. Now we're supposed to be waiting for the electrician to come. We've been waiting for him. You see that light on?
Yeah,
The
when
light
I
on?
came, I was like,
It's been on for a long time, okay?
Oh.
So we gotta wait for him. But in the meantime, why do we gotta wait for him for you to paint? Okay, he's gonna do other little things, the electrician. Why we have to wait?
Yeah.
Why we gotta wait for your job?
Yeah.
Can you not do it? So we said to him, like a day before, we're not gonna be at work. Everything's gonna be shut down. You can get into the building. No problem. You don't have nothing on your list but to take our son to school, okay? I am off, but I have a meeting, okay? But it's not going to run all day, okay? So, I need you to paint those 2 rooms. The next day comes, in the morning he calls me. He said, what's going on? Why your car's in the driveway? And I'm really just getting up, waking my eyes up. I'm trying to answer him oh, remember I told you that we had a meeting, blah, blah, blah. He said, oh, yeah. I said, you're still going to go paint and stuff. And he says, okay, yeah, I think I'm gonna paint after he gets out of school. Our child get out of school. I said, huh? Why so late? This is around like 7:30, 8 o'clock. I say 8 o'clock now.
Yeah.
Why so late?
Mm-hmm.
And he said, oh, because I gotta go back and get him. I said, no. Why is it so late? It's only 2 rooms to do.
Yeah.
It don't take that long to do that. But why didn't you tell me such and such time? I said, you know what? Instead of me getting an argument, I said, you know what? Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Please don't worry about it. I'm really trying to get myself up and get motivated too.
Mhm.
Don't worry about it. He said, no, why can't I get it off my chest to tell you what's going on? I said, because we had this conversation yesterday, okay? And you could have asked me all that yesterday if you didn't agree with it or you had something on your plate.
Right.
And I would have said, okay, you can do it another day. Not a problem. If
Right.
it was a big deal. But you did not have anything on your plate.
Mm-hmm.
You was being a butt. You were being a butt. So while you're being a butt, I just said, instead of me getting upset, no, don't worry about it. I'll find somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
I went, boo, 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 boo. Can you do this and can you do that? Yes, Miss Barnes. He knows me by Miss Barnes, not Miss Coleman, but it's the same thing. Whatever Mrs. you want to give me. Yes, I'll be there on Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
But
That's
see-
how we're going to solve
but
that
see-
problem.
But in that
but see-
moment, did he have your back?
No.
See? And that's what I'm saying.
And again,
And that woman never asked me no more about it.
Mhm.
But I'm not getting in an argument with you.
Right.
I'm going to solve my
But
problem.
inside, that
But now
caused you
you're
to go
not
maybe
being-
2
but-
steps back. Maybe
Right.
not the full 10.
Yes.
see,
But that
now
was
you're
definitely
not being
2.
submissive.
Yeah, because the
Now
next
you're not
day,
being submissive
But
because
why
you're
didn't she
taking
be
the reins.
submissive?
Because
Right.
you're
Her
not
back was
right,
not
right.
had.
and the next day, I didn't go. I mean, that same day, I didn't cause an argument. We went out after I finished work or whatever I had to do. I came home. We went out to dinner. Blah blah blah. Now it's today. I still didn't cock an attitude.
Mm-hmm.
I got up. I have so much other things. I went to my son's game with my husband and my child. I stayed there for a good while. I went to my my event with the family, and now I'm here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not getting myself all emotion and all upset.
Yeah.
Because you choose not to do, and you didn't have nothing on your plate. You just wanted to twirl your fingers on the phone, or you just wanted to have something to say. I don't know what it was, but you're not going to upset me. So you know what? I found somebody else to
Yeah.
do it, because you're not going to upset me.
But
and
they
it
want
needs
you
to be
to
done.
submit. Keep that in mind.
Yeah.
They want
Or
you to
you
submit.
want to be
But I
the
want you
leader.
to have my
I don't-
back.
Right.
Or you want to be the leader. But guess what? I got something in front of me. I'm changing the business around, remodeling and stuff like that. So I need stuff done.
Yeah.
So if we can get it done with the men that can do it in our life, if not, I'm going to push a button and find someone else to do
Mhm.
it. And if you don't like that I have to find somebody else, then you should have took over.
Took the reins. You want to lead, you want me to submit, then take the reins. My final thought, I had 3 things that I base all of this conversation, because even when I see people talking about it on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok, I have the three same things I always say. People take what they want to take from the Bible, just as I started off to, and they want to run with that, okay? And again, my thing is this. If you are, and I'm not saying, okay, because I'm not in the church like I should be, like I grew up. I know that I'm not where I'm supposed to be in that sense, but I know the word of God, and I live, and I try my best to live by God's principles. One, as you said, a man that don't work, don't eat, okay? And 2, if I see you and you can't lead yourself, at my age, almost 60 years old, you can't lead me nowhere, because you're going to lead me to the poorhouse right with you.